This is the Ritewing ZII OEM build. This went out to Tim. That the following video is going to show his maiden flight and all your settings and stuff. It's got your OEM motor, the 320 1200 kV. This one's loaded up with the 65 amp speed control, and it's got Tim's receiver in there already. He'll be flying this on dual 3300 nanotechs, 4C. And this is what you're getting on a OEM build. We've got 5mm lam.
A little dirty because I've been landing in the dirt.
Camera box is installed.
Got nice control rods. Nice tight control surfaces, no gap. Camera box, show them how you take the camera out of it.
Camera box has got a push hole through the bottom.
Yeah, the camera's in there so snug that you actually have to push it out. A hard outside maneuver is not going to take that camera out of there.
Camera pops out, pushing it back in, clicks in place. Landing skids protect as bumpers and the skid area for the plane to land on.
You can see that on a cloudy day. This is Ronnie.
Hey guys.
You're live.
We're going to go over the setup and launching of the ZII II. What we usually do on our initial setup here is we'll take and set the trailing edges level, and then give them about 3 to 5 clicks of up trim, and that's about 2 inches on the last area of the trailing edge of the plane, and then that's onto the control surface. And if you take a look at it, you have about 1 millimeter or 2 of up trim in there, and that's your initial trim for this airplane. When you're going to want to go ahead and launch it, you're going to want to go ahead and put your hand up against the side of the skid and launch it like that. A lot of times I'll run a finger underneath or even like that, but I'll go ahead and do that. And when I'm holding it, I'll hold it just like that. And basically, the airplane is fairly heavy, but you hold it like this before you're going to launch it, and then as you're getting ready to launch it, you go ahead and give it power up. And when you go like this, the plane's going to push the power, and it's going to push it right into your hand and help you hold it. You're not necessarily using your entire arm to throw the plane. You're using the assistance of the actual motor to push the plane right out of your hands. And the trick is to get a smooth launch, and you want to do it basically about 30 to 40 degrees up and 3/4 to wide open throttle. And at that point, if you fall through nice and smooth with the overhand pitch, you just pretend it's a baseball in your hand. And when you do that and you step into it, power on, and you throw it, make sure your arm follows through, you'll never worry about cutting yourself. I've been launching them for 15 years. I have not cut myself yet. Launch it just like that every time, power on, it's going to launch right out of your hand. Headwind always helps, but that's the initial trim setup and the flight setup for this airplane. What do you have your rate set at, Tim, as far as your high rates and low rates?
Elevator is at 17% for flying, and then I've got it for slow speed at 50, and the ailerons are at like 35 on low, 50 and 75.
Yeah, so basically, your ailerons can be set up about twice as high as your elevator. Set it up to what feels good to you. Sometimes when you fly thumbs, it's totally different than when you fly pinch finger. You can fly a little more sensitive when you're flying pinch. So get it up, get it trimmed out, get it a good feel for what it's doing. Don't hesitate to land it, and trim your radio just a little bit to get it going. But if you set that up where they're both level, and then maybe 1 millimeter between your control surface and your straight edge, or 2, that usually will get it launched straight out of your hand, powered up. So we're going to go ahead and power this thing up and shoot the video and show you the launch method. I have my hand like this, very simple. I don't have a huge crazy strong grip on it because the airplane's going to be pushing right into my palm when we power it up. So basically, before we power it up, I hold it up like this, and then as he powers it up, we launch it. Ready? Just like a Randy Johnson overhead throw. slowed it down enough. We got the brake set on the propeller. And if you let it slow down, bump it again, Tim. There you go. You let it slow down, it usually gets right out of the way. And this will save your props. There's no reason to run folding props. The prop itself, 9 times out of 10, will kick itself out of the way with a little throttle management. And if you slow it down enough, it'll usually find the void of least resistance behind the trailing edge. Not bad for a third flight.